Shit. Hello.
And welcome to Pardon the Interception, Season 37, Week 12, with your hosts, myself, Lee Wood.
Me, Nick Taylor.
Me, Mario.
Let's start off as ever, looking around the playoffs, starting with the GFL.
Guffle.
Close game between the Lightning and the Emperors.
The beard. The beard once again, Lee. It's the difference.
Beard one. The other game's not particularly close. The Wind Waves is beating up on Aaron, which is always nice.
It's all about the Dark Lord. Screw
Aaron did win the
the,
first quarter though. After 15 minutes, he was actually at half time. He was drawing. So.
it's the young pretender. Thinks he's the Dark Lord, but
and he plays half a game.
yeah, Mr. Russell puts him in his place, which we love to see.
Let's have a look at the stats of the closer game.
That was a ding dong last quarter.
Hey.
That is a ding dong last quarter. 18 points is an interesting number as well.
Yeah. Yes.
6 field goals.
Bang those field goals over one by one.
Was it 6 field goals? It's a 2-point conversion. Okay.
Okay, that changes it.
Yeah.
That's the easier solution to that problem.
Entertaining last 5 minutes or so. Touchdown, extra point, interception, touchdown, extra point.
Unbelievable.
Touchdown, extra point, and a field goal just to finish it off at the end there.
Definitely one for the
game.
fans.
50-yard field goal, last kick of the game.
Bam. And he didn't blow it.
The problem is, though, Lee, there's no fans of the Guffle. It's got no fans.
Okay, so it's the Wildstone of the GFL.
Exactly.
And the man behind you keeps marching on.
It's not like the Empire that's got all the fans.
So, what does that give us for the next week of the playoffs?
Some games.
Game Marinos. It's I don't know.
Some tough. Well,
yeah, I say that.
This one's easy. This one's tougher.
It is tougher.
What are my question marks? Let's just go for the undefeated teams, right?
It's quite hard to bet against the Circle.
Yeah.
But the Lightning don't look as bad as it might suggest.
They are playing against the man behind you.
He
has 3 touchdowns, I think, this postseason.
I'm going to go with the Lightning.
Lee loves the beard.
This is why, I never win the predictions league.
Saints versus Wraiths is nice.
Brings us on to the Atlantic. Bam.
Heroes are no longer forgotten.
Heroes beat the Magpies, Razorbacks beat the Blues, Snowbeard on.
Not by as much as you might have thought.
No, not by as much as we thought. We talk about this being a close game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we went that game and the Heroes Magpies game looked like they were going to be pretty close.
Ding dong battles.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Bath are in control of this game.
The Scalabur getting MVP award for his 2 touchdowns when his longest run was 6 yards. That's what you call doing your job. There's the end zone. Get in it. Okay.
Let's be having you.
An average of 4 yards a carry is fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, did his job, as I say.
Mm.
Getting in the end zone. I think the Heroes win is slightly more, what's the word? Surprising, I guess. Only because they're away from home, whereas the Snow Bears were at home, so just that little home field advantage going on. But
My audience just realised that is the Colin Andrew of Hornets fame,
yeah,
and I just
Yeah.
haven't ever noticed that before.
you never
Yeah.
notice.
Where's Tripson?
Well, you can't play in this one, but
Oh, that's brilliant. I've forgotten.
there's a classic combo of was it Do and Minty doing the business. And,
Minty.
Minty fresh.
250 plus yards. Got to take that.
It will do.
So found a way to break down the Magpies defense, which was a tough one to break down. So, as I think I said last week, big thing with Magpies is if they concede more than like 15 points, it's tough for them because they don't quite have the offense to match the defense just yet.
I mean, as I said, I beat the Magpies this season, so that's why I backed the Heroes, I think.
I think the Magpies are going to be good for a few years. I have to say,
Yeah.
if they can click on offense, they'll be back stronger.
So that gives us. That was super lightning fast.
Easy. Fuck the sandbaggers.
How injured are the Sandbaggers?
Not very. 2 or 3 Bs, I think.
I think that game's like, I know,
Game is close.
fairly quick to call it on the Snow Bears, but I think that game's probably.
You're living on the edge,
Close.
Ario. You guys.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. If I can run the Razorbacks close, then I can't back them.
Hey.
Mariners did as well, like within 5 points early on in the season. So,
Yeah, when I was actually healthy.
so
That brings us on to the Big Sky.
can you guess the results yet?
Boring big sky. Sorry, I just had to do a theme tune.
Packers Generals was a close one though.
Packers Generals, yeah, that's a close game.
7-7, 10-10, 0-3, 10-10. Third quarter.
It's that quarter three. Quarter three was all the difference.
A lot more yards for the Generals.
True that. It's in the bag.
And if I remember rightly, the Generals were left in a good state when Alec left.
They had a rather good roster. I can tell you that. Yeah, he did a pretty good job. Hence why he's now in the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the games are pretty.
Storming Giant Hornets doing Storming Giant Hornets things.
Sort
Yeah.
of.
Is Colin Andrew the new LJE?
Yes.
No, because he doesn't win. He loses the bowl game.
He doesn't sandbag there as well. He doesn't say, "Oh, my team's shit."
Yeah.
And to be fair, when you've got the rivets in your league, it's tough to win the bowl game.
That is true.
However, having said that, I do quite like the Phoenix this season.
Lee, you're a penis.
Got to mix it up, right?
Hornets Phoenix seems like a
Quite hard to call, isn't it?
yeah. They played week 1 and it was like 2 points difference. So Phoenix were at home for that one as well. But I don't know.
How are we went to call this?
Don't know. I just flip a coin. Like,
Not a bad shout. Fuck it. I'm going with my heart.
see, because you went first, I get to go second.
That's fine.
Sit on. I mean, it's
Oh,
advantageous for me to flip the
gamesmanship,
coin, that's-
gamesmanship.
Well, I mean, I'm better off in the standings overall for our fancy results if I just pick the same assignment. You, right?
True. Yeah.
And Nick's actually doing the opposite to what he should do.
Yeah.
Oh. Onto the Continental.
You could just get an unassailable gap as well, Nick. You know, it goes both ways, right?
True. Yeah.
Badgers lost.
That's because no Stromley. Obvious.
Big thing is
Angels lost.
Angels lost.
That disappointed a mustard household and a mustard fan.
Did
John just can't cut it anymore, Lee.
two away wins.
It was overtime in the old Royals Angels game as well.
Mm. Two away wins that someone predicted, Lee, as well. Just FYI, you know.
La-di-da, Mister, I can predict the Continental.
Ah. Simple.
Have a look at the other closest game.
Bullets just scored loads of points in the first half.
Yeah.
Just went,
True that.
Ring it. Just rack up a load of points. If you can come back, great. But if you can't, sad times.
Yeah.
Destruction kind of did it around the other way and just racked up a load of points in the second half.
So that gives us some interesting games. No badgers.
No badgers, no Westies.
Yeah. It's an interesting year in the continent. Changing of the guard.
I think we're double home teaming as well.
Just
Right,
not sure where to go on this.
Bullets have a reasonable chance, I think.
Bullets are in with a shout. I think the Royals have got the Destruction's number.
I'm not sure. I think the Destruction have actually got a good chance.
I don't know.
Personally, but
the only game the Royals have lost this season is a game they didn't need to win, I think. So
true, but Destruction did look good. But you probably are right, so
yeah, they have played this season. Royals won 27-21.
It's close.
So yeah. That was actually an overtime win as well. So
indeed, yeah.
Close.
Brings us on to the Deltoid.
Splash Bosh.
Nothing particularly close here.
A lot of points there, Simon.
I was inspired by a certain Mr. Mustard, the Colonel, if you will. 50-point game. That's nothing. But it's best I can do, John. It's best I can do.
Lots of passing yards. Lots of turnovers in your game as well.
Well, that's an Angel special, right?
Lots of turnovers. And because of your colour schemes, that looks very much a Seattle Seahawks graph.
It's like one of those classic, was it Hangers Angels game? Both teams over 450 passing yards. Let's go. Who can throw it the furthest?
I stuck in some running yards. That's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you've missed out because your running back got the MVP award. That wouldn't happen at the Angels.
True that. So those 4 touchdowns do make a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Although I did enjoy Fruity's performance. It's a good name.
Yeah.
Bringing home the bacon there.
Basingstoke bacon.
Blazing bacon.
So, what does that give us for the playoff previews? Bam.
But the top game is really close, I feel.
It is tough.
To be fair, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean the bottom game, I think I have to kind of go there. And
The bottom game's easier than the top game. I'm just not convinced I can actually beat Michael.
Depends on if he benches his players.
That is, this is the thing. If Michael actually plays his whole squad, he'll win.
And
But
that joke never gets old.
he may not play his whole squad, Lee. So that does change things. The other thing is, he did say he doesn't think about anything I say longer than he takes it to pop top of a beer bottle. So I can tell you all about my strategy for the game, and he's not going to listen. So
I don't know. I've seen him try and open a beer at the draft.
I got inspired by Lee Elkins. I've been sandbagging tech quarterback all season.
The tech quarterback on the bench.
And I've got a good tight end.
You're just going to completely switch up zones.
Yep, might be the difference.
That's the old Renshaw approach. He did that one year in the GFL. Yeah, just kept a quarterback and a wide receiver on the bench until the playoffs and completely changed what zones he hit.
They both popped max popped this season, so it's very tempting. And to be fair, it probably will work because you're not going to listen to this shit. So
it's interesting that you've both lost to the Wyverns this season.
Yeah, true. This makes it really hard to call.
Yeah, like both finished 8-2, 99-point difference for the Hammer Shark, 106 for you. It's like, what was the other Hammer Sharks loss? Cougars. Both lost to a 7-3 team and a 6-4 team.
I'm gonna back my my switch up of zones and see if he can deal with I don't think he can deal with it. Looking at his roster. I reckon I'll get him with the short pass, so I'm gonna back myself. But I'm gonna back Bernard.
I'll go home with the top.
Gonna take out the sandbaggers.
Bam, bam, sandbaggers down. On to the Empires. Red Bulls losing.
I know. What is this?
Monarchs.
It was the Griffins, though. To be fair.
To be fair, the Griffins beat them last season as well, right? So
yeah,
the Griffins are that good.
Yes.
Have a look at the
close game. This game is interesting because it's like not that many. Look at the first downs.
It's so good.
Jesus.
Is that like a
and
special teams masterclass?
Yardage as well. Yeah. So
yeah. Is it a special teams masterclass?
There's not a lot of turnovers, so I mean, there's a big difference in yardage for special teams, but it looks a bit.
It's got to be special team yardage.
Well, the punt punt returns is like hugely different.
Kick returns
are still a big difference, but not as big a difference as that. So.
I was going to say, looking at this, it's not a long pass team. It's not like big runs.
Yeah. So, we're getting closer to a Hastings Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Could have
Todd versus
Todd. It's possible. They're one game away.
Ooh.
One round of fixtures away. I mean, District 12 do stand in the way, as do Jacksonville High Hunters, but I don't want to back either team in the bottom. Like that logo with the square box is just horrendous, and the other one doesn't even have a logo on the helmet. So can I just about?
You're going for the draw. It's a bold choice considering it's a playoff game.
I like it, Nick. So
Break the system.
He's blinded himself, essentially moving one of his senses. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
I actually think both of these games are close.
They are.
They are both very close.
I'm going to back the Strom, but the top one, I can't call.
I just go with my gut.
Well, the High Hunters, I think, are the better actual team, but the Griffins have pretty good special teams. Because the Griffins' defense is just leaky as hell. But the special teams just makes it so easy for them to score.
It's
One of those.
So, I mean, week 9, the Griffins played the High Hunters and smashed them. But I don't know how much you can read into that game because I feel like things were close to completed by that point.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, the High Hunters running back went absolutely mental in that game. If you remember, if Jez leans into that, does that change the game? And that's kind of what I'm trying to work out.
Mm.
It's tough.
It's an interesting one.
Mm. It could go either way. Griffins.
I think the bottom one's tough for me as well because I kind of want a Griffins Rogues final, but part of me thinks the Storm are probably still too good for
Whittingham Jr.
Yeah. Did they lose to Gamblers and Griffins? The Rogues lose to Texans and Boise.
Boise.
Not sure I can back anyone who lost to Boise.
Boise.
Wow. Let's do it. Neither Hastings is making the final. Crazy.
Crazy town.
So,
if I'm wrong, then I get the Hastings Bowl. So,
Prediction League, all familiar with week 1. Week 2, I got off to a very good start with the G and the A, then tailed off a little bit.
I like the way that the fours sort of like go 2 to you, and then 1 to me, and then Simon finishes it off at the bottom. Nice.
Yeah. Simon showing his championship credentials.
I deflated the balls, you say?
Needed that warm-up week, and then off he goes.
I think this is the closest it's ever been.
So I gave you a chance in week 1.
I mean, to be fair, I've stopped backing teams that just don't, teams that don't have logos I can back now. So it's changed things up a little bit.
You're perfect in the Big Sky, Nick.
Yeah, you just back all the home teams. It's easy.
boring Big Sky.
Oh,
I like the way I'm doing terribly in the Atlantic. The
one you play in.
Just look at my result in the G&D.
Yeah, I think it's like there's some level of bias there, right? There's some teams you just can't bring yourself to vote for.
Yeah, and you can't, and like you also like probably over-egg certain teams. Oh, they were good.
Well, yeah, like I backed the Magpies to win this week because I play against them twice this season usually, and they're a good team. So it's like I'm gonna bias myself slightly towards them. So.
And the last look at the hats, as we have the final hats, we've seen that LJE's moving from the Atlantic to the Quake. And Aid is getting the Snow Bears back in the Atlantic, an OG coach.
To be fair, it's really nice for Aid to go back to his team. I think everyone should send him a congratulatory email. It would be really nice if you could just send him a small congratulations. I think it's quite nice for him. So,
Two unknowns in the Big Sky, one unknown in the Delta and the Empire. Apart from that, it's looking good.
Mm-hmm.
It's adhill@mail.com. Just,
Right. Before we, anything else before we get to a close?
thanks for all the comments. We had loads of comments last week.
Loved it.
Yeah.
People, why are people watching this nonsense? That's what I want to know.
Why wouldn't you watch this nonsense?
To be fair, answers in the comments. Like and subscribe.
With that, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.